Hi, my name is Nick Shell. The reason you're watching this video is you've noticed that you have a receding hairline, and chances are you're a lot younger than me. I'm 36, you're probably 17 or 23. You're definitely younger than me. And what I want to do as a mentor to you is just kind of show you some outward things you can do once you start noticing that receding hairline. Now please know, I recognize myself as a balding advocate. I'm one who says, let other people do what they want to do. If they want to shave their hair as soon as the first sign of receding hairline, if they want to take some kind of drug like Propecia, Rogaine, if they want to get a hair treatment, let them do that. That's fine. But as for me, I'm going to watch myself go bald, and by the time I lose enough hair, I'll just start buzzing it off. That's true. But right now, I haven't lost enough hair to where I really need to go down that route. That would be, I think, overkill for me. So if you're in a kind of the same situation where you've got a receding hairline where it's kind of like a V, like this, which is a Norwood 2 status, or if you're more like at the Mickey Mouse kind of thing where it's more of an M, that's Norwood 3, which is what I am, then this video is probably going to be helpful for you. Now, what I'll say first is, my favorite way to sort of, I don't want to say the word hide, but more downplay or kind of work with a receding hairline is to keep a vague hairline. If I weren't making a video pointing out the fact that I've got that M shape, that Norwood 3, chances are most people, if say I was talking about how to repair a kitchen sink, they would be listening to that. They wouldn't be looking at my hair. They wouldn't think that guy's balding. They wouldn't really think about me having a receded hairline or not. It's because I keep this vague. How do I do that? Well, first of all, I keep my hair long enough. I mean, it's probably about as long as one of my fingers, but it's pushed to the side. Now, my actual hairline, look, it goes up a ways, right? But what I'm doing is I'm keeping this vague enough where it's just this floppy wave. And I've actually got the sides in the back. Let me show you that real quick. Show you how the sides in the back look. Because they're not that short right now. This has always been my go-to hairstyle, even when I was in high school. Now in high school, the only thing that even happened as far as receding hairline is I was starting to have the Norwood 1 where the sides goes back. But I didn't even notice it until like last year, and I looked back at pictures. But as far as you can see my wife sneaking back there. Busted. All right. So I keep it long enough to where there's just this generic wave. And for this, I keep the sides thick enough too, where it's what I like to call a vague cloud. Now, notice too, it's not pulled back. It's not pushed back. It's not spiked. And it's not combed straight down. All of those, which would only bring light to the fact that my hairline is definitely not straight across. There you go. So I think this is a good hairstyle for anyone starting to come to terms with they have a receding hairline, but they don't necessarily want to cut it short either. And it's just funny because if you really take notice, a lot of guys have a hairstyle kind of like this, whether they're in their 20s or 30s. That's when a lot of guys start to have a receding hairline. And this is that hairstyle. Now, because see, the thing for me and I've tried this earlier this year, I did the modern college cut where it's a disconnected part and it's like nearly shaved on the sides. It worked. And people liked it, definitely. People really liked it. But as far as, you have to do what you feel comfortable with, what makes you feel confident with your hair. And for me, I like this. It's vague enough to where people aren't going to pay attention. Another tip you can do too is if you can grow a beard with, I have a theory in that, is the more likely you are to lose your hair at a younger age, the thicker a beard and the quicker you're going to grow that beard. So if that makes you feel good to have a beard, it's going to just make things more symmetrical, because like if I were to turn completely sideways, you kind of see there's some symmetry there. So beards look good. If you want to try that out, of course, if you're me and you're 36, you've got graying, but again, you're probably not 36. You're probably still in high school or in college or something like that. So those are my tips. Ultimately, please keep in mind, I'm a balding advocate. I embrace going bald. But at the same time, while I'm enjoying the ride, I might as well make the most of what I've got here. I will eventually shave it all off and buzz it off. Not yet though. I've still got enough to work with. And if you're Norwood 2 or 3, you can easily pull off something like this. So, have you ever watched that show, Chip and Joanne? Well, why would you? You're too young to watch that, and you're not married, and you don't have a wife that makes you watch it. But anyway, they've got that show. And the husband, who's more probably Norwood 2, if anything, he's got this hairstyle too. So whether you have a perfect hairline or whether you don't, if you have hair like this, you can get away. If you have a hairstyle like that, you can get away with having it shorter. Now, let me just kind of see how far this comes down. If I pull it down, I want to know myself. So it doesn't quite reach my eyebrows. I'll probably grow it a little bit longer like this anyway, but it's basically going to come down to right above eyebrows, and then it's just pushed back. Also, by the way, closing thought, I use water-based gel. I paid $3 for it. I mean, I could show you, but at the same time, just go to your local store, find the cheap stuff, not petroleum-based, but water-based. And I just squirt a little bit, and I almost just kind of do like this, and then I'm good to go. I spend so little money. I mean, it's so cheap to buy that stuff, and it's very low maintenance. I towel dry my hair, and then I just kind of do like this, and then I'm done. So it's extremely low maintenance. It's very simple to have this hairstyle. That's all there is to it. So again, this is for anyone who is experiencing Norwood 2 or Norwood 3, which is either the V or the 3, but yet you're not ready, and it's not even necessary to shave your hair off yet. But it's just a way to help that natural progression, because as you're starting to lose your hair or begin having mature hairline, whatever, as your hairline's changing is all I'm trying to say. As that's happening, what's going to happen is your identity is going to need to evolve with that. You know, we can't know exactly when we're going to lose all our hair, when that day's going to come. Just like the day we're going to die, we can't know that, right? But it's important to embrace that, the first signs of it, so you can be prepared. You know what? I may be the guy who is bald by the time I'm 30 or 40, to embrace that. And in the meantime, find hairstyles that help with that graduation. Because it's not like, oh no, I've got a receding hairline, I better shave it all off. I better get a hair transplant. If that's what makes you feel confident, then do it. Because it's all about confidence anyway. Okay? But you can see where I'm coming from. Even though I embrace balding, I also say, make the best of what you got while you still have it, and then when you don't, get rid of it. I'm Nick Shell. If you like this video, I've got plenty more where this come from. I make lots of videos to help guys deal with this transition as they are having a receding hairline or balding, and we talk a lot about it on the inside about what's going on in your brain, because there's not a lot of videos about that. A lot of people that make hair loss videos want to sell you something. I just want to help you overcome it from within and still have confidence even with or without hair. And then, like I said, I'll show you different hairstyles and things in real time, in real life, as I'm sort of experimenting with the hair that I've got for the time being. I'm Nick Shell, and I love helping guys process and deal with overcoming hair loss.